Senator Cory Booker spoke for over 25 hours to defend democracy. I just need you to lock in for 2 minutes. Very soon, Congress will be voting on a bill that will interfere with voter registration and disenfranchise millions of eligible voters. In this week's episode of the Courage Watchdog series, we're talking about the SAVE Act and the millions of people who would be impacted by this bill. The SAVE Act, or HR 22, will be voted on soon in the House of Representatives. This bill would require Americans to provide proof of citizenship to register to vote, which everyone agrees is a voter requirement until it starts to create a barrier, and mandates voter purges that will lead to eligible voters being disenfranchised. This bill was first introduced by Republicans last year, fueled by the far right's baseless claims that non-citizens were voting in our elections. A false Republican narrative that was carefully developed ahead of the 2024 election to purposely sow mistrust and doubt in our election process in case Trump lost. But if this bill passes, it would block millions of eligible American citizens from voting. Here's who would be impacted. 1 in 10 voting age Americans don't have access to a proof of citizenship document like a birth certificate, passport, or naturalization certificate. And if you don't have a citizenship proving document with a photo, like the 57% of Americans who don't even have a passport, you would need a second document. The bill also specifies that Americans who register to vote by mail must present their documents at an appropriate election office. This would impact eligible voters who live in rural areas, are Native American, seniors, low income, disabled, people who struggle with traveling longer distances to reach an election office. Lastly, up to 69 million American women who change their last name after marriage don't have a birth certificate that matches their current form of identification, meaning they would need additional documentation in order to vote. Transgender Americans also face a similar issue when their presenting gender doesn't match their identification. This is a horrible bill based in disinformation and false claims of voter fraud, and it impacts every single American by further disenfranchising millions of eligible voters. If you live in California, use our Congressional Watch Hub to contact your Congress members and urge them to vote no on this bill. If you live in one of the 18 states that has proposed similar legislation at the state level, please contact your state legislators. Stay informed, stay engaged, and follow Courage California for more.